Good morning and happy Monday, President's Day as well. I'm Tristan Winder in the News 2 Alert Center with the Morning Pulse here on this February 16th. 2026. Hopefully you're having a great day so far, and the work week is up and running well for you thus far as well. We begin today with the Nebraska School Activities Association recognizing 28 outstanding coaches from across the state with the 2025-2026 Champions for Coaches Award. Among the honorees is Brittany McDaniel of North Platte, who was recognized for her exceptional dedication and play production. The annual award celebration celebrates coaches who demonstrate outstanding commitment to their students, schools, and communities. These 28 coaches will be celebrated during halftime of the Class B Boys State Basketball Semifinals Friday, March 13th at Pinnacle Bank Arena in Lincoln. Police in the Nebraska Panhandle arrested a teenager Sunday morning following a chase involving a stolen vehicle that tore through residential neighborhoods. Sunday afternoon, Scottsbluff police responded to a stolen vehicle and soon after located the vehicle in the parking lot of the Scottsbluff YMCA. The driver fled, and what followed was a roughly 2-minute pursuit of residential streets with speeds of around 45 miles per hour. The driver eventually abandoned the vehicle, and it rolled into a parked car, causing around $10,000 of damages. An 18-year-old Scottsbluff male was arrested at the scene and faces several charges. Politicians in Nebraska serve 4-year terms from governor to state auditor and, of course, in the unicameral. One Nebraska state senator has introduced legislation to ensure that members of the second house, the people, can recall their representatives from office in the interim. Senator Lauren Lippincott is saying Nebraskans deserve a consistent standard of accountability.
An elected official acting in bad faith can do significant harm in the years between elections. This is about providing voters with a constitutional tool of last resort when trust has been fundamentally broken.
19 other states of varying political leanings have similar legislation. And a new push to protect property taxes in Nebraska, in the state of Nebraska, would require school bond elections to have a higher percentage of registered voters in a district participate in order for it to become considered valid. Senator Rick Holcroft of Bellevue introduced LB 765 that would require any school bond election have 50.1% of the registered voters in that district in order for it to be valid.
The bill doesn't create accountability, it creates impossibility. The approach is also inherently discriminatory because it gives greater weight to the indifference of those who choose not to participate in an election than the deliberate choice of those who choose to exercise their civic duty.
Nebraska state senators will continue the 109th second session of the Nebraska legislature tomorrow on the heels of a 4-day weekend, as they were off on Friday and, of course, being off today.
Well, hi there, everybody. Good morning. Meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Monday morning, a day where record high potential is there for today, but there are big concerns in the days ahead. We've got a fire weather concern already for tomorrow, a fire weather watch out for most of the area for tomorrow afternoon and early evening. The exception, Southwest Nebraska, because they've already upgraded. The Goodland National Weather Service has already upgraded Southwest Nebraska to a red flag warning for tomorrow. The rest of us will eventually be put into it. There is extreme fire danger tomorrow due to strong winds and very dry conditions. That won't be the case today. Thankfully, the winds will be lighter, very mild. Lots of sun for most of the day today, but then some clouds coming in later in the day. There is going to be a frontal boundary that stalls out to the north. Not too concerned about it. It's only slightly cooler north of that front anyway. Tonight, we're going to be looking at increasing cloud cover overnight and into tomorrow. Very mild night of weather ahead of us here. And then tomorrow, watch the winds. These are really going to help boost temperatures. Record highs are going to be possible again tomorrow. In fact, a better chance of many places breaking records. South winds, look at them crank up tomorrow. And the worst of the winds are going to be in western and southwest Nebraska, closer to our front right here as they turn more westerly. And this is going to be very dry air here too. So the worst of both worlds. A lot of wind, very dry air. The vegetation is so dry anyway. Big time fire threat already by the noon hour, continues into the afternoon as the cold front comes plowing through. Because of the dry air, we're probably looking at sprinkles or extremely light rain right here. Maybe as we get into the evening, maybe some convection in eastern Nebraska. which I would be concerned about maybe some lightning causing and sparking fires there too, even into the evening hours. So yeah, looking at that right there, there's the high fire threat for tomorrow across the area. Now the winds, while they come down, they're still going to be a little bit breezy into Wednesday, which does keep the fire threat up somewhat on Wednesday, but not quite as high as Tuesday's threat out there. All right, back to your records. These are your records for today. Now, keeping track of your records, the National Weather Service offices around the area, they only keep track of certain places' records. So these are the records that are kept track of for today. Upper 60s and low to mid 70s. We're going to be darn close to a lot of those for today here in the mid to upper 60s and low 70s. So a chance to maybe tie or break a few records. I think tomorrow actually has a better chance with warmer temperatures in many locations. Down into the 30s and 40s tonight. Very mild night ahead. We may see a few record warm minimum temperatures. Tomorrow, we're looking at a very warm day out ahead of that front, a little cooler out west. So records may be tougher to come by here in these spots, but we'll be kind of close in North Platte and Imperial. Better chance of records, though, in here with temperatures into the mid to upper 70s. Tomorrow night, 20s and 30s, so a few 40s out east for lows into Wednesday morning. Wednesday, the transition between the very warm temperatures and the much colder weather to come at the end of the week here. So highs on Wednesday in the 50s and 60s. Still a bit of a fire threat out there. Wednesday night into Thursday, look at that. Here comes the colder air now. Teens and 20s for lows with some single digits in parts of the panhandle. And then Thursday is going to be a chilly day with a chance of some snow for parts of the area. Highs only in the 20s and 30s, maybe a few 40s in southeast portions of Nebraska. Let's talk about that moisture here. Well, first off, let's look at that 7-day forecast, and we'll get more detail of the snow in just a little bit here. So again, the rain tomorrow is minimal. It's more about the wind, the warmth, the record highs possible, and that wildfire threat. Cooler and breezy on Wednesday. A little windy again on Thursday with that chance of snow. That's the best chance of snow on Thursday, and that's probably the coldest day ahead. Small chances of snow Friday and Saturday. Temperatures trying to warm up a little bit through the weekend. It looks like it will warm up quite a bit as we head into early next week, back up into the 50s and 60s. So it will get better in the long-range forecast there. North Platte. Again, strong winds, high wildfire threat tomorrow. Within records the next couple of days, the record today is 72, the record tomorrow is 74, so we're going to be close. Cooler but still mild on Wednesday, much colder on Thursday. There's that chance of snow. Small chances of snow Friday and Saturday as temperatures then start to warm back up over the weekend into next week. We're going to be much milder again next week as temperatures push back up into the 50s and the 60s. Now, let's dig into the details of that moisture. Now, first off, next week, before we get there, next week, it's going to be back to mild weather once again. So the final days of February to all the way to March 1st there, right now it's looking like we are going to be on the warm side. We're staying warm. So really, the end of this week is just a little hiccup, a little bump in the road, so to speak. But it does look like next week is trending fairly dry, so we're probably going to be below average precipitation-wise. All right, now we'll get to that long-range moisture forecast. Now, first off, let's jump ahead to Tuesday. Again, the moisture's minimal, the winds, the wildfire threat's strong. Now let's go to Wednesday night and Thursday. Here comes that chance of snow. Now there might be a little bit of a mix in there, especially in southeast Nebraska. The European forecast model, notice how most of it is north of Interstate 80, but it's a pretty decent snow. Could be several inches of snow in northern Nebraska if the European were to come to fruition. I'll tell you right now, the European model is a little farther south than a lot of the others. Snow chances are much smaller Friday and Saturday. And then beyond, not a whole lot down the road through next week. Pretty minimal chances of moisture. Let's look at the GFS model. Okay, here's Tuesday. Again, the chances are small. The wind is the big deal with the strong winds and the fire threat. Jumping ahead to Thursday, here's that snow chance. Notice again, northern Nebraska, the better chances. Farther south, lower chances of snow. Small chances of snow Friday and Saturday. I'm not banking on too much. Now, this model, the GFS, is a little more aggressive for Saturday than the European model was. So it'll be something to keep an eye on. But after that, there aren't a lot of chances down the road as we get into next week. It's going to be a mostly dry week. Something maybe to look forward to down the road just a bit. I am going to actually bring up the North American model here. It doesn't go out as far. It only goes out a couple of days, but I do want to take you to Tuesday real quick here. Again, the minimal rain chances there. It's more about the wind than anything. And then let's jump ahead to the final part of that forecast. It only goes out through Thursday. It only goes out to right there Thursday morning. But notice it's kind of tracking towards northern Nebraska. This is why I think northern Nebraska has the better chances of snow compared to southern Nebraska, northern Kansas as we look ahead to Thursday. Finally, we're looking at the temperature track here, or the temperatures over the next couple of days here. Again, very mild today and tomorrow, cooling down Wednesday. Then much colder at the end of the week. But then we gradually warm up through the weekend and especially into early next week. It looks like we'll trend warmer once again. And then looking at the GFS model, again, very mild these next couple of days. Cooler Wednesday, colder for Thursday, Friday, and then generally warming up as we get towards next week. Should be a little bit milder again as we get into the early portions of next week. Well, I want to thank you all for watching on this Monday morning. I'll be back with you on Tuesday with all the latest. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.